The storm surrounding Prince Andrew shows no sign of abating. Once a figure of royal prominence, he now faces what many describe as an all-time low in his public and personal life. His ties to Jeffrey Epstein have cast a shadow over the royal family for years, but recent developments have intensified scrutiny on the embattled prince. Central to the continuing controversy is Virginia Giuffre, whose allegations have reverberated across international headlines and drawn global attention. Even after her death, Giuffre's legacy and the claims she made continue to haunt Prince Andrew, underscoring the enduring nature of her impact. Public sentiment appears unforgiving, with many expressing astonishment that a member of the royal family could be embroiled in such scandalous circumstances. The prince's once prominent public engagements have dwindled, leaving him largely absent from royal duties and ceremonial appearances. Legal and financial pressures continue to mount, following both civil settlements and media scrutiny that refuse to ease. Observers note that the psychological toll on Andrew must be significant, as he navigates the intersecting pressures of reputation, family expectation, and public condemnation. Royal insiders suggest that the prince's advisors are working tirelessly to manage the fallout, yet solutions remain elusive. Speculation persists about whether Andrew will attempt to rehabilitate his public image or retreat further into privacy. Experts in public relations emphasize the difficulty of restoring trust once a figure has been linked to both scandal and tragedy. The narrative surrounding Virginia Giuffre serves as a stark reminder that allegations of this magnitude can have far-reaching implications, even after the person at the center is no longer alive. International media outlets continue to dissect every development, reinforcing the global attention this story commands. Andrew's previous engagements, once celebrated for their charm and diplomacy, now feel overshadowed by controversy. The prince's personal relationships, both within the royal family and beyond, appear strained under the weight of persistent public scrutiny. Historians note that few members of the British royal family have faced such sustained and intense negative coverage. The legal frameworks involved are complex, encompassing civil law in multiple jurisdictions, which further complicates public understanding. Psychologists studying the case highlight the enduring nature of trauma and accusation in shaping public perception. Virginia Giuffre's advocacy and testimony, even posthumously, continue to influence ongoing narratives and legal interpretations. Observers point out that the modern media landscape amplifies every misstep, leaving little room for private reconciliation or damage control. For Prince Andrew, the impact extends beyond personal reputation, affecting his historical legacy and the perception of the monarchy as a whole. Public polls indicate a sharp decline in favorability, marking perhaps the lowest point in his public life to date. Royal commentators speculate on the potential long-term consequences for succession perception and the broader institution of the monarchy. Even charitable organizations previously associated with the prince have distanced themselves, reflecting the pervasive effect of scandal. Financial settlements tied to allegations have reportedly reached substantial sums, further emphasizing the seriousness of the situation. Legal experts suggest that even after settlement, reputational recovery may be nearly impossible in cases of this magnitude. Family dynamics within the royal household appear particularly sensitive, with younger generations expressing concern over public fallout. The palace's official statements remain carefully measured, yet the undercurrent of tension is palpable. International audiences remain captivated, with social media platforms amplifying both support and criticism. Commentators note that the juxtaposition of royal privilege and personal scandal has created a compelling narrative for global audiences. Some advocates argue that the situation underscores systemic issues in accountability and justice, particularly involving powerful figures. Andrew's past attempts at public appearances have met with mixed reception, often overshadowed by reminders of Giuffre's allegations. The broader context of Epstein's network continues to inform public understanding, keeping the story alive in international discourse. Legal historians point out that precedent for high-profile figures facing similar allegations is limited, heightening public fascination. Media coverage highlights both the human and institutional dimensions of the controversy, examining its ripple effects across society. Commentators frequently explore the intersection of privilege, power, and responsibility, framing Andrew's predicament within broader societal debates. Royal historians observe that while scandal is not new to the monarchy, the digital age has amplified scrutiny to unprecedented levels. Even diplomatic interactions have been subtly affected, as associates consider the potential reputational risk of association. Public empathy is mixed, with some emphasizing accountability while others reflect on the prince's personal hardships. The enduring nature of Giuffre's claims demonstrates how individual narratives can shape collective memory and historical record. Social media campaigns continue to memorialize her story, ensuring that the conversation remains active and far-reaching. Some biographers suggest that Andrew's attempts at rehabilitation will require not only public statements but consistent actions over time. Observers note that legal settlements, while resolving some disputes, do not erase public memory or media scrutiny. The interplay between legal resolution and public opinion illustrates the complex reality faced by figures in the limelight. Royal commentators debate the long-term implications for ceremonial duties, suggesting that a permanent withdrawal may be unavoidable. Meanwhile, historical comparisons emerge, drawing parallels to previous controversies within European royalty. Journalists highlight the emotional toll on both the prince and his immediate family, reflecting broader human dimensions beyond headlines. Some analysts suggest that media coverage itself has become a form of accountability, influencing behavior through public attention. Despite attempts at privacy, every appearance or statement by Andrew is meticulously examined and often critiqued. The notion of legacy becomes central, as discussions turn to how history will remember both the prince and those connected to the Epstein saga. Educators and commentators use the case as a lens to explore societal values, privilege, and responsibility in modern contexts. Even artistic interpretations, from documentaries to feature analyses, continue to shape public perception in nuanced ways. In private, sources suggest that Andrew faces difficult conversations with advisors, family members, and legal counsel, underscoring the complexity of navigating his current position. International attention ensures that the story remains alive, making it unlikely that time alone will lessen public curiosity or criticism. For many, the narrative is a stark reminder of how power, influence, and controversy intersect in ways that are difficult to control. The situation highlights the enduring consequences of past associations,
demonstrating how historical decisions reverberate in present realities. Even memorialization efforts related to Virginia Giuffre's life keep her story in the public eye, extending her influence far beyond her passing. Royal historians conclude that this period represents a defining chapter in the ongoing evolution of public trust and institutional responsibility.